Feminism started out as a movement for the empowerment of women, but somehow it morphed into a man hating club of women who wanted to be like men. The feminist definition of women's empowerment is very different from mine. What I see feminism as today is women who want to be equal to, want to overpower and replace men. And this is not to say that women's empowerment isn't necessary. It's just the feminist brand of feminism is problematic to me. But something is necessary because there is a problem. There is a problem of white patriarchy that we all live under, we all suffer under. And white women have suffered under it for much longer. They have been oppressed by their men. But now they have taken it to the extreme and have dragged melanated women into it. And melanated women never really had issues with our men in that way. We were never oppressed by our men. It's not in the African man's nature to oppress his woman. The African man always loved and revered women, saw the value of feminine energy and the value in feminine contribution. What we see of our men today is learned behavior. They learned it from white culture, white patriarchy. Even though, our men still don't really have the power to oppress us except using physical strength, feminism has done more to make the African man powerless. But we'll get into that a little bit later on. Right now, I want to talk about the 7 ways that feminism has failed women. Feminism made family unpopular. It minimized the value to women of being a wife and having children. Women today aren't interested, most women today aren't interested in becoming a wife or having children. It's not something that women really aspire to be anymore. Women hardly want to be mothers or even enjoy motherhood. Babies have become like a meal ticket for women, or a way to trap men, but not something that women deeply desire. I think one of the main things that makes a woman a good mother is a deep desire to become a mother, which I think all women should possess. I think it's strange that so many women don't desire to have children, even the ones who have children. I fell into that feminist trap when I was in my 20s. I didn't want to think about having children at all, and I thought that I was so empowered in saying that. And truthfully, I never meant any of that. I was just going on with the feminist strong woman narrative. When I was approaching my 30s, it was my boyfriend at the time who really suggested that we try and have children, and it was just something that I never thought about. He was asking me, I've never heard you talk about you don't want children. And I looked like, okay, I guess we can try. It was really never something that I really was thinking about at the time. This desire came much later on. Feminism told us that we are to put career and education first. And so as a result of that, there are many women who are single and child-free, they say. I say childless. Child-free sounds like you're saying having children is something that entraps women, which is crazy. I don't think so. You're childless, you don't have children. That makes more sense. I mean, it's just, by definition, it makes sense. Or there are women who had children much later on. It's better when women have children when they're younger. It's healthier in our years where she's more active, and having children right throughout her fertile years, because her body is designed to do that. I wish more childless women who are older would talk about these things. I find that older women are very silent about a lot of the experiences that they've had in their 20s into 30s. and how valuable some information would be to younger women if they just share and be honest and open. Be honest about the fact that a career, money, accomplishments, quote unquote success is not so fulfilling. Having a children and having family, having a partner, someone to grow old with is far more fulfilling. Feminism promoted abortion to women and convinced us that abortion is a woman's rights issue and reproductive rights issue. Reproductive rights to me would be if women were provided with assistance with their reproductive health. It's just so backward to call abortion reproductive rights. There are many women who are suffering silently from the psychological and physical effects of abortion. They're just not talking about it. Many women have damaged wombs from abortion. A lot of women are suffering from infertility and other womb imbalances because of their abortion procedures. Women are so loud about abortion rights, but so silent about the effects of abortion. Women don't even benefit from the honesty of saying, you know, I did an abortion and this is what happened to me. This is how I suffer psychologically and physically because of these abortions. Women are also very careless with their wombs because they always feel like they have the option to terminate the pregnancy, not thinking about the many other negative effects of sharing your womb casually. You have to think about STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, as well as spiritually transmitted diseases. Yes, there are spiritually transmitted diseases because you are possibly sharing your womb space with spiritually corrupt men. And your womb remembers, your womb stores energy. We are receivers. We receive energy, right? And your womb is one of the worst places to receive negative energy. Spiritual wounds are very hard to heal. And on the topic about promiscuity, I watched the movie Sex and the City 1 and 2, but I really didn't watch the series. I caught a couple of episodes every now and then on HBO, but I never really watched. I wasn't a Sex and the City girl. I keep seeing Sex and the City come up, and I say, no, I never really got into this series to see what it was really about. So let me get into it and see the whole picture. I was surprised at how promiscuous these women were. Like, they were with a new man every episode. I know the show is called Sex and the City, but I just didn't realize just how much sex these women were having. So I say, no, I'm gonna watch this whole series because to me, this is the example of feminist propaganda. And I think it's one of the main reasons why modern women are the way that they are today. That's gonna be another video, right, where I review that entire show and talk about how it has really affected the way that women behave today. Feminism told women that they don't need men. Now there are lots of women who are just living a lonely life because feminism told them that it's better to be a single lady. All the single ladies. Beyonce sold you a lie. She's a liad gal, right? Because Beyonce is a married woman with 3 children to a man who is irreplaceable. She married up. She's hypergamous. She married a man who had more money and status than her. She married Jay-Z. There's not another Jay-Z. There's only one Jay-Z. She can't replace Jay-Z. She was one of the biggest faces of feminism, but she did the complete opposite. Jay-Z is the one who powered her career. He financed a lot of her career. He pushed her into spaces, right? He used his power to help her. So she leaned on the patriarchy to help her move forward. And at the same time, she made him lock her down in marriage and gave her 3 children. Women need men. Women need men for provision, for procreation, and for protection, right? Men have more physical strength than us, they have more endurance than us, right? Men are here to protect our wombs. They're here to protect life. And protection of the womb is protection of the woman, right? When we deny ourselves the protection of a man, we leave ourselves vulnerable to all kinds of things, like men who want to take everything from us, including our womanhood. Feminism created gender confusion. Some women want to believe that they're equal to men, and that's impossible. We cannot be men. We're not men. We're not equal. We're not the same, and that's okay. We contribute equally, but we're not the same. We're physically and emotionally different. Therefore, we have different needs, and so we should live differently. We have different emotional needs, we have different hormonal needs, we have different nutritional needs. Men and women also have different biological clocks. Like a man can start his dating life at 50, and a man really peaks at 50, right? He is in his best years, he's in his prime when he turns 50. He's way more attractive at this time also because he is more mature and he is more emotionally intelligent, more emotionally available. You know, these things are attractive to women. And he can have women of all ages, from young come right up to his age, even older if he wants to. He has his pick. You know, he has the luxury of time. He has the luxury of delaying procreation. Women don't have that. We have a fertile window in which to get pregnant and have children. But men can go a lot longer than we do. They have more of an open window. I mean, Dr. Sebi had his last child at 82. Mind you, Dr. Sebi was way healthier than most of the men that we know today. But it just shows you how possible it is for men to get a woman pregnant in his 80s. And of course, this was a much younger woman, but that's exactly my point. It's exactly my point. Feminism told women that work-life balance was possible. This is a very difficult thing to achieve. And so you have a lot of high-achieving women who have cheating husbands and miserable children. And so you have a lot of people in society who are out of balance because they weren't mothered properly, right? Some weren't even breastfed or breastfed long enough because a lot of women go back to work after 3 months of having a baby, sometimes less, right? So a lot of women stop breastfeeding very early. And so a lot of people miss out on that extra time that they should have with mom. And you will see the difference also in how babies are in, you know, Western society than in other societies where women basically wear their babies. Those babies are peaceful, happy, sweet babies. While babies in the Western world are constantly crying, they're miserable, right? Because they're traumatized. Imagine spending 9 months with this one person, you hearing this voice, there's this comfort, there's this safe place, there's this warmth with this person, and suddenly that is taken away from you, right? That consistency, that safe place is no longer there. Imagine how traumatic that must be for a baby. I didn't realize how unnatural this was until very recently. I used to think that it's totally normal for a woman to take 3 months of maternity leave and then go back to work after. None of this is normal. None of this is okay. And so I really think that the idea of being a stay-at-home mom is is ideal. I think that is the ideal situation for women. It's maybe not possible for all women, but I think it's ideal. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with women aspiring to have that. And I used to think so. I used to feel like if I wanted that, it would be a shameful thing. I fought that with all of my might. Did not want to be a dependent woman at all. And I understand because there aren't a lot of trustworthy men out there who understand their responsibility in taking care of a woman, in protecting a woman, in providing for a woman. I understand. But it's because of how this system has made our men not men. Feminism did not protect women from transgender people. That's men who think that they're women. I keep asking, where is feminism in all of this? Where is feminism? Did we skip over the part where we saw men deciding that they were gonna become women and ambush women's spaces? Is that not a part of the patriarchy? Are we supposed to see this as some type of win for women? I'm confused. This is something that feminists should be loud about, but they're so silent. Where is feminism when they're calling women pregnant people? When they're calling women breastfeeders? When women can't even openly talk about their periods anymore? We're so focused on abortion rights, but we're not seeing that men are coming into our most sacred spaces and infringing on our birthright. How are feminists so silent, watching men decide that they're gonna be women and enter women's sports and literally kick women's asses? You cannot call a fight between a man and a woman a fair fight. The strongest man will always be stronger than the strongest woman. Where are feminists when men dressed as women want to go into the same restrooms that women have? The restroom used to be a safe space for women, where we go, we meet, we talk, we just feel free to let loose, even let out our titties. I mean, it's just what it is. We feel safe in a girl's bathroom. I remember when I went to do the interview for Daytime Live at TVJ, I went to change in the bathroom and I didn't go into any of the stalls because no one changed in a toilet, right? So I changed on the outside, but I felt safe to do it because I knew that only women were gonna come into this space. There's a big chance that a woman would not be interested in seeing me naked or looking at me or gawking at me, and she wouldn't have a penis that she could possibly insert in my vagina. So there isn't a possibility of me being violated by somebody who has a different body part than me. Men don't understand women's bathroom culture because they're men. They just don't get it. They will never get it. This is something that we've always had since school, primary school, high school. The female bathroom was that safe space. Where are the feminists? Because this is an important issue to me, to women, and to girls. I think it's very odd that a movement that claims to be pro-woman is so silent on this very important issue for women. Feminism robbed women of their feminine power by convincing women that femininity is weakness and that their feminine power, it's not even feminine power, that their power is going to come from taking power from men, being in men's spaces, being like men. That is where our power is. Our power is in masculinity. That's crazy. Women overlook their power to bring life. Women overlook their power to nurture and heal. Women overlook their connection to nature. Women overlook their spiritual power and spiritual gifts. Women overlook the power and the equal balance that feminine energy brings to masculine energy. We have given up our feminine power to be like men, but just wearing heels and lipstick. We have to either throw out feminism altogether or go back to the drawing board and see how we can actually include womanhood in feminism, because it isn't there. We decided to abandon our womanhood and seek manhood and deny the power of feminine energy. Feminism also didn't serve our men, particularly black men, because it pushed our women into independent women who didn't need men. And when we don't need men, men find it hard to have a purpose, right? And a man without purpose is going to be a feminine man. A man without responsibility is a man without purpose, and that's a depressed man. Because of feminism, we have a lot of very feminine men who don't want to work, don't want to produce, don't want to build, don't want to protect, don't want to provide. If we take over the role of men, what do we expect our men to do? Become the women then. That's why this thing is just so upside down. So it has not served men in any type of way. It has done nothing but push them into their lowest selves. It cannot be that the goal was to get our men to be like women. That's not a win for women, because women need men. I don't know, because a lot of these men are comfortable out there looking for a woman who's going to help them, looking for a woman who's going to give them a chance, looking for a woman who's going to take care of them and give them things, buy them things, treat them like women. That's what our men are today. If you look on TikTok, you will see a lot of these type of men. Want easy money, don't want anything that requires work or consistency or dedication, commitment. I know it sounds like I'm blaming women, and I'm not blaming anybody in particular. This is just a societal issue. It's an issue for all of us to fix, right? Right, the next generation not going to have it easy. This topic is a controversial topic for a lot of people, because I know a lot of women are feminists or think that they're feminists, and I know I've been there. I thought I was a feminist at one point too. At some point, you have to look at where we are today and see what has contributed to where we are today as women. I would like for us to seriously take a look at feminism and think about how it has really benefited us or not. And these are some of the ways that I think it has failed us. And I would love to hear what you think. If you disagree with me, that's fine. Please share your thoughts respectfully, please. Do you think that feminism has benefited us? Please tell me some of the ways that you think, because I would like to know some of the ways that you think feminism has been a benefit to women. I think there was a time when women were more happy, more balanced. And I think that we have to find our way back to that. And I don't think it's through feminism.